At present, there are only 5 Japanese three-hand solar dive watches that include bracelets. I refer to this group of watches as the Gang of Five. Seiko has 2 watches in the Gang of Five. Citizen has 3. Today, I'll be reviewing the Seiko SNE585. I'll refer to it as the SNE. I bought the SNE from a gray market dealer on eBay for $275. I'll start with the SNE's bracelet and clasp because these are the parts of the watch that people on the internet are bitching and moaning about. The SNE's bracelet has hollow end links. Hollow end links are not as robust as solid end links. Would I have liked solid end links? Absolutely. You can have solid end links if you choose any of the other members of the Gang of Five, but you'll have to live with a non-sapphire crystal that's going to get all scratched up and ugly. On watch forums, there's complaining about the SNE's clasp. This isn't surprising. The clasp is pretty awful. This is it. I've removed it from the bracelet. It's not a robust clasp. But what makes it super bad is its awkward appendage, a dive extension, which everyone hates, which shows you how out of touch Seiko is with its consumers. The King Turtle has the SNE's clasp as well, and you can see me modeling it in my review of the King Turtle. The first thing I did when I got the SNE was swap out its garbage clasp with this $10 replacement clasp. It was easy. The clasp attaches to the bracelet with an ordinary spring bar. If you have a spring bar tool, you can replace the clasp easily yourself. There are a gazillion sellers on AliExpress selling inexpensive replacement clasps that are light years better than Seiko's. It's really not that big a deal. The common hack you'll find on forums to get rid of the SNE's crappy clasp is to replace the entire bracelet with a flimsy-looking $80 Uncle Seiko replacement bracelet designed for an Omega Speedmaster, which also has hollow end links. It's confounding to me why anyone would go through all this trouble and expense to replace the SNE's bracelet. It's a perfectly good bracelet. Just replace the damn clasp. Look how nicely the SNE's female end link integrates with the case. I'll probably never in my watch reviewing career review another Seiko at this price point that has a better case integration than the SNE's. The bad news about the SNE's bracelet link connective mechanism is that it uses tube and pins. The good news is that pushing the pins out was extremely easy. I used an industrial strength Seiko S926 vise to push the pins out, but this tool was overkill for the SNE's easily extractable pins. I have a demo at the end of this video for sizing the bracelet. The fluidity of the SNE's bracelet isn't stellar. It'll probably loosen up a bit more with use. The bracelet is 20 millimeters with 2 millimeters of taper. The width of the original clasp is 19.5 millimeters. My wrist is about 7 inches. I'd say the watch wears good, but not great. I'm giving the bracelet a B-. Had the bracelet had solid end links, I would have given it an even B. I give the original Seiko clasp a D-. The SNE's case is thin at 11.5 millimeters, as it should be for a solar watch. The case is lightly brushed, with exception to the chamfers, which are lightly polished. I'm completely okay with the underwhelming finish of the case as it matches the finish of the bracelet really well and fits in with the SNE's modest aesthetic. You've probably seen Seiko's case back a gazillion times. Sorry, I'm not removing the sticker. The case is moderately sized. Seiko specifies the diameter as 38.5 millimeters. My measurement is 39.5 millimeters. The lug-to-lug is 46 millimeters. The case width, including the crown, is 42 millimeters. I can't begin to tell you how great it feels to have a watch like the SNE on my wrist that isn't oversized. I am so tired of being forced by the watch industry into wearing watches that look and feel too big for my wrist. The SNE has a nice light weight of 150 grams. The textured bezel insert is really handsome. The material of the bezel is unknown. I really like that the bezel insert is slightly recessed. This will limit impacts and damage to the bezel insert. The bezel action is a bit too tight for my liking. I give the bezel a B. Before we get into the SNE's really nice dial, I'm going to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the SNE's crap crown operation. The SNE has a smaller crown than I'm used to reviewing on Seiko products, but it's pretty grippable. What concerns me about the crown is how wobbly its stem is. If the SNE were a mechanical watch and had this degree of wobble, I give it an insta-fail. Because the SNE is a solid quartz, you shouldn't need to operate the crown that much. So I've decided to squeak the SNE's crown by with a D-. It could be that my SNE is defective. Let me know in the comments, please, if your SNE's stem is wobbly. The SNE has a really elegant, glossy sunray dial. I'm not going to deduct points for this because I can only see this under magnification, but the dial has a crosshair on it, and the presence of this crosshair bugs me. The indexes aren't framed, yet are puffy and three-dimensional. The indexes are unusually subdued for Seiko indexes. I think it fits in well with the SNE's subdued look. The date is readable. I love the brushed hands. I give the dial an A-. The sapphire crystal lacks AR coating. I'm getting some glare in outdoor sunlight, which is tolerable. It's winter now, and I live above the 45th parallel, so I'm not getting very strong light to do glare testing with. The SNE has a low power indicator. It can run for up to 10 months. When fully charged by light, it's ISO rated. The SNE's Lume, while not mind-blowing, satisfies my testing requirements for a watch in its price range by delivering at least 3 hours of readable Lume. I give the SNE an overall grade of D-. Had the SNE had a decent crown, I probably would have given the SNE a B+. The good news is that you can almost have your cake and eat it too. There are 2 independent Canadian watch companies that make 3-hand sapphire crystal solar dive watches with bracelets, both of which house off-the-shelf Japanese solar movements made by Epson, the owner of Seiko. This is the first company. I have no idea how to pronounce their name. I tend to stay away from watch companies that I can't pronounce these days, but that's just me. I'll just call this company the V brand. The V brand seems to do a fair amount of advertising, which I suspect inflates their prices. The other Canadian watchmaker that looks more promising to me is Momentum. There are probably other micro brands that offer solar dive watches that I'm unaware of. Feel free to let everyone know in the comments. I have the bracelet in the watch vise and I'm pushing a tube out in the direction of the arrows on the links. You can see the tube sticking out of the left side of the link. The collar is caught on the vice's pin. I removed the collar and put it away for now. I extract the tube and put it aside. It comes out extremely easily. After removing another link, I conjoin the bracelet by putting the bulbous end of the tube partially in the non-arrow side of the link. I put the collar in the arrow side of the link. The hardest part of the process is putting the tiny collar in without either the tube or collar falling out. Both the tube and the collar are now in place. The tube needs to be pushed in fully. I use a pin push tool to hold the collar in while I hammer the tube back in. Little force is required to hammer the tube back in fully. That's it. I am